mentioned. Can you tell us like some stuff about security? Like what can people do to avoid getting hacked out there?
Yeah, I think I just want to throw it out there because it is something I go over a lot too. Is a lot of people kind of use VPNs as a panacea out there for security, and do they help? They help for privacy. They're good for security when you're traveling. They're good to connect to a corporate network to make sure things are more secure there, but they do not stop you from getting hacked. Like not at home. Like all the VPNs these days, when you say VPN, it means like a retail VPN that you buy at home. And again, being in tech for like 20 years, that's just not, I've never looked at a retail VPN and thought, I should get one of those. It's never crossed my mind. It's like good for privacy. There's a difference between privacy and security, but if you're going to do it for privacy, just use a proxy server. Just like go set up something like that and you don't have to pay any monthly fee. So VPNs have their place, but they do not stop you from getting hacked. Hiding your IP address doesn't stop you from getting hacked. Maybe that was true 20 years ago. It's not true today. You get hacked via browsers. So number one thing, keep your browser up to date. There's a lot of boring advice, some simple advice, but the most boring thing is like when your browser says update available, click update available and let it refresh, and all your pages will come back up if you have it set it that way too. It's not going to disrupt a lot of stuff you have going on. So browser up to date. Don't click on links from anyone you don't know, or and you could be phished too. It could be looking like it's coming from someone but don't click on any links from any chats, apps, or anything like that. Don't accept DMs from people you don't know, because there's some really tricky scams out there. Like there was somebody pretending to be Alex from Hedron on Telegram the other day, and I had to literally do a double take. This is like something, security professional had to do a double take to like determine if this is actually Alex or not. And that was crazy. That opened my eyes too of like, wow, these people, they'll message you a month beforehand to set up this little connection. They won't ask you for anything. And then a month later, they'll be like, oh, how's things going? Oh, by the way, to claim your, ICOSA, you need to do actually go here and do amalgamate, blah, 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 all this stuff. So they'll set up this like relationship with you too. They're pretty tricky. So like, I don't know. I try to stay off Telegram as much as I can, just because it's full of stuff like that. But
they are really tricky because we had a Liquid Loans copycat account, and like they had everything looking exactly like at the name. They used a capital I instead of an L for one of the logos. That's a big one that they use all the time. And like unless you actually like copied it and then put it into like Notepad and like change the font, like you couldn't tell. So, you have to report it, but like people don't realize it. And like they just grow numbers and then point people towards their website. So it's you really have to pay attention out there.
There is an RHMaximalist with an I instead of the L on Maximalist on Twitter. They have an older account. They have more followers. They look like the more legit account. And like, you report them. Of course, Twitter does nothing, but it's like, wow, how do you even beat that? How do you beat someone who has more followers, an older account? It's really tricky out there. So,
well, you should reach out to them and like before you report them, just ask, how did you grow your channel so much more?
Well, I'm sure they bought it off the dark web and they changed their name 5 times and all this stuff. But they got like, wow,
people in a click factory going on. Yeah, no, those are all like great things, like simple things to do. Just
the biggest thing though is buy a Mac. 99% of malware it runs on Windows. So if you get a Mac, you're just removing yourself. It's like you want to drive down a really nice street or a really bad street. You're always going to be driving down a really bad street on the internet if you use Windows. So just buy a Mac, use Mac, or use Linux if you dare. Like Linux is fine too, but the easiest thing, buy a beautiful MacBook. It'll browse the internet much, much safer for you. So.